Hey, I'm Chris.
I'm Pete.
And today we're going to talk about Transformers! The movie. But since so many people have already talked about Transformers the movie, we're not just going to talk about the movie and review it. We're going to talk today about something that is, I believe, highly misinterpreted, and that's why did the Transformers movie bomb?
It came out of the air.
So, what's the most common reason that people say the Transformers movie bombed? This is what you said when I asked you.
They killed Optimus.
There you go.
Misconception. Well, they killed him, but that's not actually what we believe.
No, not after the digging that I've been doing.
Oh, no. Lord.
So, here's the first hole. Hole number one with that theory. Its opening week was horrendous. So, they didn't tell us in the trailers that Optimus died. That was a surprise in going into the movie.
Yeah.
So, if the fact that Optimus died was the reason why the movie bombed,
that would have
you would have had to know that going in, because the first week, so opening week, it debuted. You want to guess at what number it debuted at out of 20 movies? Well, I don't know how many movies.
I want to say it probably debuted in the top 10 because there wasn't really that I can remember all that much that debuted the same time frame. It
debuted at number 14.
Oh.
Behind About Last Night, which had already been in theaters for 5 weeks. So it was behind a movie that no one remembers.
I don't even know what that movie that is.
I've heard the name because there was a South Park episode called that.
Okay.
And I think it's a heist movie or something. Its final,
that's shocking. I thought it would have debuted.
So that's problem one with that theory is, why would that have affected, if nobody knew about Optimus Prime dying, why would it have debuted so low?
Yeah.
So that's hole number one. And I won't get to what my theory is yet. What we're going to do is, first we're going to poke holes in this theory of the fact that it was too violent, they killed too many Autobots and stuff.
Yeah.
So there were likely previews, critics will get a preview.
Yeah.
And they'll know, and they'll say it's too violent.
Yeah.
So, that's a possibility. Maybe that might have hampered it a little bit, but the fact that they killed Optimus is not gonna affect the opening week.
No.
The fact that it's so violent, maybe Leonard Maltin, who famously hated, I think it was him, or maybe it was
Siskel and Ebert?
Were they around then? They were definitely around then, yeah. I think it was Leonard Maltin really hated on this movie.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things he said, I'm going off memory, I'm not reading this, was that it was so violent. So maybe that could have contributed a little bit to it.
Yeah.
But problem number two with the theory of Optimus Prime dying being the reason for the low box office returns is, if you were a kid in the 80s, which you were.
Which I was.
And somebody told you, hey man, Optimus Prime dies in the Transformers movie.
I would have wanted to go see what happened.
No kid's gonna go, oh, I'm out.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, what? No.
Yeah.
They're either gonna be in disbelief, or they're at the very least gonna want to see how it happened.
True.
And what happened. That would pique my interest even further.
Totally. But the other thing is, word of mouth was not what it was back then. As far as now, everybody gets on social media. It's instant.
Yeah. So
it's much slower effect.
Much slower. Yeah. So that's a good point. And this movie released in August. School was not in.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have 30 people hearing you complain about Optimus Prime dying. You're going to be complaining to your 2 or 3 friends or whatever, you know? Yeah, so that's the problem with that main theory. Those are the two holes. There's probably multiple other holes with that theory that I haven't even scratched the surface on, but I think those are indisputable. Like I'm pretty sure that those two things definitely at least would not have affected the opening weekend. So opening weekend, it grossed in the US 1.778 million. So that's a terrible opening even by 1986 standards.
Yeah.
That's equivalent to a movie grossing about 5.1 million in 2024.
Yeah.
So
barely making back what it.
Well, yeah. I mean, but then you'd have to X5 the budget, so it'd be 25 million. So it still would only have made back 20% of its budget on the opening weekend, which is when movies make the bulk of it. At least in the opening week and then the following weekend, usually they're going to make the bulk of their money in those 2 weekends, between those 2 weekends. So its final box office gross, it doesn't say that it's worldwide or US, or this must be worldwide, because I know the worldwide box office was 5 point something, so it was 5.8. So it had okay staying power, which, there you go. Third hole in the theory that Optimus Prime dying. It actually was stronger as it went on.
Yeah.
Because it made about almost 4 million.
Yeah.
Over $4 million in the following weeks. So it made very little in its debut weekend, opening week and opening weekend. It actually made more. Most of its box office returns came in the weeks following.
Yeah.
So that's, again, that if that was the main problem, if Optimus Prime dying was the main problem, that wouldn't have happened. That would have we would have seen a big spike at the start and then
crash.
Bad word of mouth.
Yeah. And caveat, I mean, I enjoyed the movie despite having my heart broken when
we're not going to talk about our feelings about it. That's
no feelings.
There's another day for that. We don't have any feelings. And that's been discussed to death anyway. If you really want to see us talk about the movie, we're going to talk about it anyway, but you can drop a comment and tell us how bad you're dying to hear yet another couple of old guys on YouTube talk about Transformers the movie.
Thing. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so should we get to the elephant in the room?
There is an elephant.
The black pony, if you will. I was going to say black sheep.
Yeah, but we're not talking about sheep. We're talking about ponies.
You were talking about ponies, I'm not talking about the Pink Pony Club. No. I'm talking about the Death Pony Curse.
The Death Pony Curse, which is I
think is probably one of the maybe not the main reasons. We'll get to the larger my theory. Yeah. None of this is provable, of course. No. This is just our opinions, and this is researched opinions. So.
Opinions matter.
Yeah, but I mean, for a 40-year-old movie, that there's no point in discussing any further. Yeah. But the My Little Pony movie, for those of you who don't know, there was what I refer to now as the Unholy trilogy of Hasbro movies from 1986. There was supposed to be the original release schedule: G.I. Joe, Transformers, My Little Pony. They released in the opposite order, and G.I. Joe didn't even get released. If you didn't know, it didn't go to theaters.
Which is a shame, because it was a really good movie, but that's coming later.
But we're going to talk about that later. Yeah. But, and we're going to talk more about this black pony in the room, the black elephant pony in the room. But we have to skip ahead a little bit and discuss that, because it's, I believe, a big factor.
Massive.
Not the main one, in my opinion, but it's a big factor on why the Transformers movie did so poorly. And that's because it was shit. Oh. It was so bad. We just watched this movie for the first time yesterday, and if you've never seen
don't ask about us watching it or how it happened.
Don't ask where we watched it.
Don't ask where we watched it.
Don't ask how many scented candles were lit.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Let's not talk about the romantic setting.
For accuracy and proper research, we did watch it.
Yes, because we almost made this without watching it.
We did.
Just reading the synopsis, but I thought we both kind of came to the conclusion, no, we need to suffer for our art.
Yes.
So
for you guys.
Yeah.
We took a bullet.
Except for you bronies out there who are right now
clickety-clacking, telling us that we're wrong.
Die!
The schmooze.
I think it's the smooze. Anyway,
whatever.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But it was so atrociously bad, and that's of course a subjective opinion. But what is not subjective?
There's multiple reasons.
What is not subjective? You can't look at those three movies, the Unholy Trinity of My Little Pony, Transformers, and G.I. Joe, and tell me that the quality is comparable in any way. It is absolutely not.
No.
Transformers, I mean, there's of course some subjectivity, some opinion to this, but I think most reasonable people would look at the animation from Transformers the movie, which, there you go, and look at the animation from My Little Pony the movie, there you go, which, if you've been following this channel, was made by ACOM, Nelson. You f***ed up Transformers, and now you f***ed up My Little Pony. Except in the opposite order.
Those are probably bleeped.
Yeah. But you can't tell me that the My Little Pony movie looks anywhere near as... It's just not as polished. It's nowhere near as... There's nowhere near as many frames.
No.
Like, that is an objective thing, right? That's a measurable, quantifiable thing.
Totally. The movies are always supposed to, like, as far as animation goes, that you'd think that they'd be a step up from the TV series in some sort of way. Quality... Yeah,
I mean, this is
in multiple aspects.
This I didn't research, but I would imagine if the My Little Pony show was the same as Transformers, G.I. Joe, all of that stuff, it was probably made mainly by Toei, the animation company from Japan that did a bang-up job for most of the G1 episodes and the G.I. Joe episodes that they worked on. So I would imagine they did work on the My Little Pony movie as well, but you can tell the animation looks like cheap ACOM crap.
Yeah. Are we getting into the reasons? Like, do we want to touch on those things? Notes we made?
Oh, no. But we'll save that for the My Little Pony discussion.
Okay.
Coming up after this. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
To the next episode. Hey!
This is a multi-episode episode.
Yeah. So that's the quality of My Little Pony, the movie, is probably one of the reasons, you know, subjectively.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why it didn't do so well. Because I can picture Ma and Pa taking, you know, little Susie to see My Little Pony. She's all gung-ho to go see it. It's coming out in the beginning of summer. She's out of school. She's all excited. And so they drag little Timmy along, you know, her older brother, he's just dying for Transformers to come out.
Yeah.
And they go and they watch My Little Pony.
Yeah.
And the family goes and watches My Little Pony. It's a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
And when Transformers is coming out, the little Timmy's like, "Hey, Mom, Dad, remember that Transformers movie? It's coming out." And Dad's like, "F*** that. I'm not sitting through another one of them things.
Exactly.
Forget it.
Yeah.
We already sat through that for your sister. You can watch it when it comes out on TV."
Yeah.
You know, so I think that could have happened.
Video.
Yeah, I think that's a high probability that happened, at least in some cases.
Well, because let's face it, that's who is paying for it, is the parents. And if the parents
They're
don't even remotely, like, you have to kind of be able to sit through it for some reason and have some sort of enjoyment yourself, not just for the kids.
It needs to be bearable.
It needs to be bearable.
And it was insufferably bad. I can just imagine how furious the bronies out there are right now.
Yeah, they're clickety-clacking at us.
I'm sure that a lot of people...
This is our opinion.
The funny thing is I know how people who hate the Transformers movie, who are like, God, it's all... I mean, nobody says that anymore, but like the reviews, like the Leonard Maltin, like he was reacting to the Transformers movie the same way we reacted to My Little Pony. So I don't know, maybe it's just nostalgia. Maybe it's because we don't have nostalgia for My Little Pony. Maybe that's why it was so horrendous. But
we're open to hearing. Tell us we're wrong.
I'm not on that. And this is another thing to back up the theory that My Little Pony, at least in some way, affected Transformers' performance. My Little Pony actually had comparable box office numbers to Transformers. Like we'll get into the My Little Pony numbers when we talk about that film specifically, even though we've been complaining about it for the last 10 minutes. But it had 5 point something million was its global box office gross. So
did it taper off though? Like
we'll look into that. But point being, a lot of people did see it. Around the same number. And I don't know. Again, we'll have to look into the numbers before we talk about that. But My Little Pony, as big of a hit as it was with girls, I don't think it was quite on the level of Transformers toy sales wise. Like I don't think it had as big of a... I mean, maybe it's because I'm a boy. Last time I checked.
Should we look under your skirt?
I was in the 80s. The Transformers, I believe, was the bigger property, and you would think that Hasbro believed that too, with the original release schedule being start with G.I. Joe, kind of peak with Transformers, and you can see it in the quality of the product too.
Totally.
G.I. Joe is very well done.
Yes.
It's not quite as many frames per second, I wouldn't think. Like the animation quality, especially that opening sequence of the Statue of Liberty, is amazing. It looks really good. The rest of the movie looks really good too, but just not quite as polished as Transformers.
Yeah.
So I think that Transformers was probably the biggest property Hasbro had at the time.
Yeah.
I have to look into that. You can correct us. I'm probably not going to look into that. I'm too lazy. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe at the time of 1986, Transformers was probably their most profitable property. Okay, so the main reason why I believe the Transformers movie bombed at the box office was the strength of the 1986 movie season. There were some absolute bangers. It was going toe-to-toe with Short Circuit, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Labyrinth, Big Trouble in Little China, The Karate Kid Part 2, Aliens, Howard the Duck, Stand By Me, Flight of the Navigator, and The Fly. I don't think Ma and Pa are going to be okay with missing, aside from Howard the Duck, any of those movies in favor of Transformers. And there's a lot of kid-friendly ones here too. Short Circuit, kid-friendly. Labyrinth is
Short Circuit was a huge box office success.
I don't know how well it did, but
I remember it doing really well.
Karate Kid Part 2, I think Ma and Pa are more likely to want to sit through that.
Yeah.
Stand By Me, another one. Flight of the Navigator, they're probably going to be more... Transformers is probably, besides Howard the Duck, probably... And that was even more aimed at adults. So Ma and Pa might have been more likely to want to see that.
Agreed. Spoiled for choice.
Yeah, spoiled for choice. There's a reason why it came in 14th. But, I mean... Apparently, even About Last Night was something that parents wanted to see more than Transformers. So it was going up against a lot of big movies that are still... Aliens might be my favorite movie of all time. Like, it's going up against some juggernauts.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't have helped.
No.
I don't know why they thought it... I guess that the thing is that I've seen the only other channel I've ever seen that talked about reasons why the movie bombed was a channel called Secret Galaxy. You should check them out; they're good. And they were basically saying they talked about the whole movie as a whole, but they mentioned the box office bombing, and they basically said it was hubris on Hasbro's part. They thought they were invincible. Yeah. Even with the My Little Pony bombing, they relatively speaking, they thought that Transformers was too big to fail. Yeah. And it wasn't.
My thought, I agree with you. Spoiled for choice, that's obviously going to affect the numbers. I also think that, Hasbro kind of blew it because really the whole reason for the movie is to introduce new toy lines. That's the same for all three movies, for My Little Pony, for Transformers, and for G.I. Joe. It's all about selling. It's all about the
bringing in new product.
Yeah, bringing in the new product, and they thought they could do whatever they wanted. It would be a hit, and they didn't really put much. I don't think they put much thought into it.
Yeah, no, and I do have a third reason why I think it bombed. Okay, reason number 3. It's fairly unprecedented for a TV cartoon that the kiddies can watch for free to get a theatrical release in 1986. I looked into it. I couldn't find anything that was on this level of like a toy line that it driven TV show that's on weekly, running concurrently. It's not like Transformers had ended and now you had to come and see the movie to see the big ending. No, it was running concurrently. And parents wouldn't have known if it was how to interpret that. Like, it's just basically a 90-minute episode of the cartoon because it continues the continuity. Like, you'd be lost if you'd never seen the show. Totally. You're lost anyway because they jam in so many new characters. They jump forward 20 years to 2005. They introduce all these new characters all at once. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I loved it when I was a kid, but but I could see how some maybe older kids would have been like, what the hell's going on? Who are all these guys? I just thought they were awesome, but that I think could have affected it as well. The fact that it's kind of an unprecedented thing. Like it's something, little Timmy again, especially after the Ma and Pa fell for the My Little Pony scheme.
Yeah.
Little Timmy's, Dad, I want to see, Dad, get out of here. It's on right now. Go watch it. It's on TV right now.
Yeah, they're all right there.
Play with the toys and watch it here. We're not going to the movie theater to do that.
So
you can see this show on TV.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So, I mean, now that's a thing. Like, of course, like kids, this is a big thing. Like, you know, I almost called it Pikachu. Pokemon the movie. Well, I'm sure there was Detective Pikachu.
There was,
Yeah. Like now it's commonplace, but back then it was uncharted waters.
Totally.
So I think a lot of the Ma and Pa's, the Fred and Ethels of their day, they didn't want to drop cash on, you know, something they could see at home.
Well, and they knew they were going to be dropping the cash on the toys anyways.
Yeah, so they're probably like, "Would you rather, Timmy? Would you rather go and see this,
or
this
literally
probable piece of shit, or would you rather have another Optimus Prime doll?"
Yeah, you remember how painful? You remember how painful it was sitting through that movie just so that we could figure out about the Flutter Ponies, or would you just rather get a
new dolly?
A new.
I mean, that just raised an interesting question in my mind. How many of the little Timmies that went with their sisters and sat through the abomination of My Little Pony, that they were like, when Dad said, "Do you really want to sit through that again?" They were like, maybe not. I wonder if that was partly responsible for why Transformers kind of died off.
If any of you remember that, and that is
did your sister ruin Transformers the movie for you?
Yeah.
Drop a comment below.
Drop a comment. Truthfully, I was older. Like my sister was younger, so I didn't have to go. I think I had. I did. Thankfully, I didn't have to go see the My Little Pony in theaters.
You chose to.
I wanted to go see Transformers in theaters. I had to wait until it came out in video.
Get to go? Well, here's an interesting discussion point. Why didn't you get to go?
I can't. I don't remember. I don't.
Wait a minute. But did your sister go to see
my sister went? And
there's your answer right there. Your parents probably didn't even tell you it was coming out.
I really don't. I don't remember.
So there you go. Yeah. There's proof is in the pudding. I'm pretty sure.
Pudding.
Good old. Your parents were probably sitting there in your good old kitchen table and reading the newspaper. And little Pete's eating his Fruit Loops, and Mr. Pete looks at Mrs. Pete and it's like, "There's a kids movie coming out. Should we tell?" And Mom's like, "Don't tell him about it. We'll rent it when he can watch it by himself.
Yeah,
and play with his toys, play with his dolls."
Play with his.
That's what they called them because our parents didn't grow up with action figures.
No.
They're dolls to them.
They were dolls.
Yeah, the transforming dolls that you like so much. You know. Anyway. That's it for part 1, but come back for part 2 where we're going to be talking at length about My Little Pony and a bit about G.I. Joe as well.
Yes, G.I. Joe. Well, hopefully more about G.I. Joe.
More about G.I. Joe.
I don't want to get the people in the comments thinking I'm a brony because I'm not. It's in the closet. I leave it in there.
Myself.
I leave it in the closet for a reason.
I'm wondering myself. Okay. Anyway, see you there.
Wait, what's our?
I don't think we have one. No, that's Optimus Prime's thing.
Oh,
yeah, and even he's like.
No, but we did that in the other video.
Yeah, but it was not. Bye.
Bye.